Hey guys, we're back. We're going to look at Unwrapping the Pharaohs, lesson number 4. In this one, we're talking about Sennacherib. Okay, he was the first king of the 4th dynasty, his greatest pyramid builder of all times. He built 3 separate different pyramids, and I use the word pyramid because they were the first of the true-ish pyramids, but they weren't completely true pyramids, and we'll talk some more about that later. But 3 pyramids he built for himself. And the question is, why 3 pyramids? Why did he need 3? One of the reasons we think he's just a compulsive builder. He liked to build, he liked to show his wealth and things through building, and he thought just, keep building. Also, they believe he was a perfectionist, so, he didn't quite get these right, and we'll talk about those as we go through. So he kept building, trying to fix that. The other reason is, he just trying to keep the peasants occupied. If you keep the people busy, they can't revolt against you and they can't rise up against you. So, build 3 pyramids, just keep building. They have nothing else to do, so they just keep building. But he built these pyramids in the Saqqara Plateau, as we talked about in the last lesson. It was the first true pyramid shapes, okay? And as we'll talk some more, he didn't quite perfect this shape, but it's the first true ones that were designed to be pyramid shapes. He used over 9 million tons of stone. The medium pyramid is the first of the 3 pyramids. It started out as a form of a step pyramid. The core was just of stone with 3 tiers, and they built the pyramid around that core. The dimensions were 482 feet from corner to corner, 302 feet high, and was rising at an angle of 51.5 degrees. But he never completed it. It became a tourist site and developed into a true tourist site with paved roads and street lightings and everything that people might want to see. You could visit it and climb on the mound of rubble to the entrance to the pyramid and explore parts of the interior. Around this complex, they found lots of different mastabas, and those are part of this tourist site. Several of these are attached to the pyramid grounds, and one belonged to Rahotep. He was the king's son. He was also a high priest. They also found a mastaba with the wives of skeletons that were still in the tomb. But his one of them also had a statue of him and his wife, Nefret, and that has been since moved to the museum in Cairo. The next pyramid is called the Bent Pyramid, the Bent Pyramid of Dashur. It's the best preserved of all the pyramids in Egypt. And the reason for that is just outside of that, for a very long period of time, there was a military camp at the very base of the pyramid. It prevented robbers. It prevented tourists, no tourists on a military base. The military patrolling prevented people from coming in and robbing it and looting it. Eventually, in 1997, the military would leave and it became open to the public. And since then, they've had some problems there. The dimensions, though, are 617 feet square. The angle of elevation was 52 degrees, and it would have been 335 feet high. But, he had problems with this building. Halfway up, the angle of elevation changes, and it changed to 43 degrees. And there's not really a good explanation as to why. It's unexplained, and we just kind of have to guess at it. But with the change from 52 degrees to 43 degrees, it gives it a kind of a bent shape, and thus its name, the Bent Pyramid. Some of the possible explanations for the change is, he ran out of money. It's expensive. It was expensive to build these. And he just maybe ran out of money. The other one is, at this point, Upper and Lower Egypt were combined, and so it may represent the difference between Upper and Lower Egypt. The most likely explanation, though, is that there was constructional problems. Again, like I said, these pyramids were the first ones that were trying to be built in the true pyramid form, and they ran into problems. They weren't sure exactly what they were doing, and there was a lot of cracks in this, a lot of problems with it, and so that's probably the most likely explanation as to why it was never finished. But some of the things we did find from it had a very unique internal design. It had 2 entrances, one that faced north and one that faced west. It had 2 separate tomb chambers. And that was very interesting. The first time that they found any of that in there. The last pyramid is called the Red Pyramid, and its location is just north of the Bent Pyramid, which, due to the military base that was there until 1997, gave it some protection from looters and robbers and things, but not as much as the Bent Pyramid. Its dimensions, the Red Pyramid's dimension, is the base is 722 feet, the angle is 43 degrees, and its height is 344 feet. Unfortunately, it didn't get all the protection that the Bent Pyramid did, and so much of the outside facing stone was stolen. And it's only left this reddish construction stone, which is visible. And when the sun is setting and on this, it glows red in the sky, and thus it gets its name, the Red Pyramid. Some other aspects of this pyramid is that it had two spacious antechambers, a lofty tomb chamber, and only tomb chamber of the three pyramids that had human remains in it. But at this point, they don't know if those human remains were the king or somebody else. It's just not sure. So the thing we need to remember with Unwrapping Pharaoh is that he was the first one to try to build in a true pyramid form, but he wasn't completely successful. So he had the medium pyramid, the Bent Pyramid, and the Red Pyramid. And so from there, though, the next generation will build better, and we'll see that as we continue. Thanks.